There is one thing that we can all agree on, and it's that Wuthering Waves is one of the best gacha games on the market right now, if not the best. And this image is bolstered by the fact that 2.4 is perhaps one of the best updates ever. Story, characters, map, quality of life, everything making the game better update by update. But there has always been one thorn in the side of wuwa, and that is their events. For example, in 1.2 we had a little tycoon. In 1.4 we had a bit of a permanent Depths of the Elusive Realm. And in 2.3 we had that god awful QB mode. Jesus Christ. Now we did get a good event for 2.1, so I'm not including that. That is not in my narrative here. Even if I were to include it, the bad events would still outweigh the good. So apart from Depths of the Elusive Realm and the Dredge event, there's not that many good events that they've put out. But a few days ago, that all changed. It's clear to see that Kuro Games have learnt from their mistakes. Because if you haven't played in a couple of days, then the TCG/TFT Auto Chess event is out. And my goodness me, it is perhaps one of the most fun events I've ever played in this game, or in any gacha in general, really. And in this video, I'm going to go into a deep dive as to why. Why is it so fun? And the first thing I want to start off with is the user interface. Now, this may not be one of the biggest things to start on, but in my opinion, a user interface can actually make or break an event. As you can see here, we are on the events page. And let's just proceed. Look at this user interface. Very sort of dynamic, very immersive as well. The special effects, the effects are really nice. I really like them. Very Septimontian, along with the sort of parallax images in the background. It just makes for a very good interface. And you're not even in the game yet. For example, when you actually click onto it, you see all your opponents. And obviously you get a little background here as to where they are. Honestly, it is really good. It's really good. It's very polished, in my opinion. Which is unlike the wuwa events that we've gotten in the past, I feel. I mean, even the events, like the event rewards. Look at the animated highlight on the selected stuff. It's really, really nice. Even the background as well. You can tell that they've put a bit more effort into this event just because of that. Now, the duelist level is a bit simple. But I feel like it does the job. Obviously, I don't have it all yet because, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it does take a little bit. But even like the little animated stuff, it just adds a little bit more life into it. Here we have like decks, for example. Once again, animated. Love it. Simple but animated. Tactics as well. We've got live 2D characters, which will obviously be on their banners. But still, it just adds a nice little detail, a bit of movement into what could have been just a still PNG image of a GUI. And here we have the collections. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Just showing off your medals and your echoes and stuff. And I guess this can also factor into the GUI. Look at the cards as well. Look at how really nice they look. They're very simple, but also quite polished as well. They tell you everything that they need to tell you quite easily, which again is just really good. Like, they have polished this quite a lot. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the gameplay itself. Now, once you've sort of gotten into the swing of things, you can put your battles onto 2x mode so they don't take as long, which is always a nice touch. But roughly the matches should last around 5 minutes maximum if you don't dilly-dally with cards too much. But the aspects of the gameplay are quite fun, actually. You have all these cards, all these different echoes with different abilities. And I'm going to show off an example of a strat that you can actually do because of the variance in abilities. So I'm using the modulate spam. Basically, this deck is made for modulation heaven. So as you can see here, you've got an echo card. You can select on them and you actually have different skills. You can recycle them for energy or you can transform them. Transforming does cost energy, but sometimes, depending on the echo, you can actually get energy back. Now, I'm going to transform this, and I'm going to draw 3 more cards, just because it's just fun like that. I'm going to recycle this. I'm going to transform this to try and get a better echo. Now, I'm going to try and talk you guys through this, because it is extremely fun. Like, for example, this boar, when you transform it, you get 3 points of energy, so bosh. Now, all of a sudden, I have a 3 cost ready to go. just like that. These different echoes allow different strats in games, and their skills are varied to a point where you can have very polarized decks tailored to basically one strategy or another. You can tell that they've really thought about the strategy in this game mode, which is really nice. Now let's get on to the actual auto chess part of the gameplay. So as you can see here, you can move around and even tilt your camera angle. So it doesn't matter if I win or lose here, I'm really only just showing you guys just the gameplay here, but it looks like I am winning, which is a plus, I suppose. And yeah, we get this cool little graphic as well every time we win. Look at that, lovely stuff. Now I want to talk about why this gameplay is actually so addicting. Even though it's quite repetitive, it's got a bit of random factor in it, which makes it sort of unrepetitive in a way. Kind of like why Battle Royale games are actually really loved, even though you're technically doing the same thing every time. No one game is the same, and it just makes for a better gameplay experience. But I'm not going to harp on about it too long because there's still more to go over. Are you kidding? I lost that! And I also just want to point out something that definitely goes unnoticed half of the time, and that's the music. I can't find it anywhere online at the minute, but the music is absolutely amazing for this event. I really, really like it. From a subjective standpoint, it may not be your sort of thing because it is very sort of fantasy themed, but it really just does fit the theme of an Echo themed sort of card game. I don't know, a lot of people think it's nothing, but I think it does add a lot to the event, definitely. Because at the end of the day, you have to listen to that all the time, unless you have music turned off. Another thing I wanted to touch on was just the rewards in general. Look at the amount of Astrite you get, along with a few more things. Like, for example, a wing skin. You've got, I think that's a profile banner, which looks really cool, by the way. Really, really cool. Phantom Echo, some modifiers, and some tuners. That's some really good rewards. So when Kuro Games brings out such a polished and well thought of event, because trust me, card games are a lot harder to build than they seem. When they come out with stuff like this, it needs to be praised because they have clearly put a lot of work into this and they deserve all the praise for it, because when you're able to have different strategies, different decks, just from a small selection of Echoes, by the way, only 53 cards, that's one more card than a standard deck of cards, I think. So when you have 53 cards and you're able to do all these different play styles, it is really, really impressive. So yeah, that was my just little appreciation video for this event, because they've been very hit or miss up to now, but this is one of the best ones they put out in my opinion. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.